What is up, guys? It is Austin with Degenerate League. Today I'm going to give you guys my Super Heavy Samurai deck profile. I took this deck to regionals. I won 3 duels. I lost 2, I think. I lost against some weird dragon deck and I think Blue Eyes. And I made it into the second round, and then I lost my first round against the Blue Eyes. And so I did pretty good for Super Heavies. They're not really that competitive. They're more of a fun deck, really budget. They can be sort of competitive, I guess. I mean, they can put up a decent fight. Most people aren't really expecting for them to put up a fight. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. First, you run 3 Super Heavy Samurai Big Binky. He's pretty good. What he does is whenever he is normal summon or special summon, he can be switched to defense, and all Super Heavy Samurai monsters attack with their defense while he's on the field. He has 3,500 defense. It's a lot to get over, and since he uses his defense as his attack, that is a very strong monster to get on the board. He is usually it's either this monster or my other level 8 that I use to go into a synchro for my boss monster warlord. So he's a pretty key player, or I'll go for Beast Kaiba with him a lot sometimes too, depending on what kind of board I have set up already. So, and then you run 3 Super Heavy Samurai Flutist. Now what Flutist does is he can be tributed to special summon a Super Heavy Samurai monster from your hand. So you can tribute him and summon Big Binky, which is pretty useful, so you don't use up your normal summon, so you could normal summon a tuner. Well, actually, you already used your normal summon if you already normal summon him, but there are some tuners that can be special summoned, such as Trumpeter. And then he has an effect, he can be banished, I think, to negate attacks. Negate the activation. Negate the activation of an effect. And then you play 3 Super Heavy Samurai Battle Ball. He is not exactly my main tuner, but he's probably the second best tuner I have. I only have 3. What he does, if you have no spell or trap cards in your deck or in your graveyard, I mean, you can use your opponent's monsters, or one of your opponent's monsters, as a material for a synchro summon, but it has to add up to the number of the level of the card that you're synchro summoning for. I mean, you know how synchro summoning works. But by the way, this deck doesn't have any spell or trap cards in it. It's full monsters. The entire deck is full monsters. And if you do have spell or trap cards, most of the effects won't work, so you can't really run them. And then I run 3 Super Heavy Samurai Soul Peacemaker. Soul Peacemaker. Sorry, the lettering on that is very shiny, and I just got that card. Soul Peacemaker. What he does is you can equip him to a Super Heavy Samurai monster you control. Then you can tribute both of them to special summon a Super Heavy Samurai monster out of your deck. That is really good. I had 3 Super Heavy Samurai warlord in here, but I took all 3 copies of it out for him because he's way better, and I'm glad I did. And next I run 3 Super Heavy Samurai Trumpeter. Trumpeter is my main synchro, just because he can, not synchro, my main tuner, just because he can be special summoned, and if he's tributed for a Super Heavy Samurai monster, you can special summon him from the graveyard. So if you already normal summon him, or no, you special summon him, then you tribute him for Jade, then you can special summon him back, and then go for a warlord for a synchro, which is a really good play. And then I run 3 Super Heavy Samurai Blue Barrel. He is a really good hand to draw into if you have Super Heavy Samurai Magnet in your hand as well, or just him by himself. He's really good if you bricked that turn, perhaps, or if you want to go into Ogre instead of Warlord to clear out their traps and spells first, and then hit him with attack. But he can't be destroyed by battle, and when he's normal special summon, he's automatically switched to defense, and he has 2,000 defense, so that's pretty good, but he can't be destroyed by battle, so doesn't really matter. And then we have 3 copies of super heavy samurai drum. He is my other synchro, level 1. I use him for Beast Kaiba. Beast Kaiba is a pretty good card. He's really good against other synchros, not synchros, but yeah, other synchros and other pendulum decks, and also decks that special summon a lot, such as Cosmos and Blue Eyes. Because he's an odd number, and this is the only level 1 tuner I have. What he does is when he's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one super heavy samurai monster from your graveyard to your side of the field. That's pretty good. I don't usually get the chance to use that effect that much because they don't really go to the graveyard very often because it's sort of hard to get over 3,800 defense. But anyway, next to the next card, I run 3 super heavy samurai Jade. When I first made this deck, he was the star of this deck, but unfortunately he has gone down some since I got some of the newer cards, and this deck has become a lot better. Well, not necessarily unfortunately, I guess that's fortunately, but I do miss him being the star. What he does is he also attacks in defense, and he only needs 1 tribute to summon. If it's a super heavy samurai monster, you can tribute 1 super heavy samurai monster and summon him. It's kind of as a normal summon, so it's not special. And then I run 2 super heavy samurai thief. He is really good. You can special summon him from your hand, then tribute him to steal either your opponent's trap or spell card, like a set one, or maybe it's, I think it might be any, or you can steal his one of his scales. So thief is really good if you're battling spell heavy decks, which this deck actually does pretty good against, to be honest, because you can steal their spells and traps. You can steal them once they go to the graveyard, and once they leave the field they get banished. It's really good, honestly. And then I run 2 super heavy samurai coral. General coral. I mostly use him for his pendulum effect, where it makes it where 1 super heavy samurai monster can attack twice that turn, and he's a scale of 8, so that's pretty good. But I don't really do much pendulum summoning in this deck. I hardly even consider this a pendulum deck because it only has 2 pendulum cards. Maybe if they add some more in the future, that'd be a little interesting. And then I run 2 super heavy samurai magnet. He's pretty good. I'm thinking about maybe bumping him up to 3. Maybe. I had to make room for the new support, so I don't know. But what he does is, whenever he's normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower super heavy samurai monster from your hand, and then switch this to defense, and it's the only monster that can be targeted for an attack, which is really good. So it's kind of like if you have him and then blue barrel in your hand, you can just like make a wall that it's really hard to get over. And then I run 2 super heavy samurai transporter. I use 2 of him. You can use him to send drum to your opponent's side of the field and then just attack it to special summon a super heavy. It's pretty good. And you can also special summon transporter. Oh, and if you send drum to your opponent's side of the field in defense, you can draw a card. And you can do that. You can send up to 2 cards. So you can send 2 drums, draw 2 cards, then attack both the drums, and then special summon 2 super heavies from your deck. I mean, not from your deck, from your graveyard. And then I run 2 super heavy samurai soul beads. What this does is it basically protects your monster from card effects twice. Then I run 1 super heavy samurai giga glove. What it does is, I have to read this. I don't use it very often. This card is sent to the graveyard. Okay, and you have no trap or spells in your graveyard. You can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and then place them in any order. And I think if you're going to get attacked, he negates attacks too. And then I have 1 super heavy samurai scale. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 level 4 or lower super heavy samurai monster in your graveyard except super heavy samurai scales, special summon it in defense position. You can only use the effect of super heavy samurai scales once per turn. They don't end up in the graveyard very often, so unless I use them for synchros. And then I use Soulwall. That protects it from getting destroyed by battle once. I don't have to worry about that much, so I only run 1. Then I have Soul Horns. Just basically the same thing as Coral. The monster that it's equipped to can attack twice. That's why I only run 1 of him and 2 of Coral, because Coral's more, I guess, efficient because he's also a scale and he also has a monster effect and he has a scale effect. And his monster effect isn't that bad. You just tribute super heavy samurai monsters you control and then you draw that many cards. And then I run 1 Soul Claw. This also stops it from getting attacked by battle. And then I'll run 1 Soul Burst Gauntlet. Now, Sulfurs Gauntlet is kind of like a hand trap sort of. What you do is, if your super heavy samurai is about to get attacked and it's like more attack than your super heavy samurai can handle, you send this to the graveyard and it doubles its defense. So if they attack it, they take a lot of damage. And since you use like a quick effect, so you can just like blop in the graveyard, and their attack is pretty much just reflected back on them. And that's it for the main deck. Now let's get to the extra deck. First, you run 3 Super Heavy Samurai Warlord. He is the boss of this deck. What he does is, up during either player's turn, you can steal 1 spell or trap card from your opponent's graveyard, add it to your side of the field, and then whenever it's activated, it is banished. So you can steal their Twin Twisters, their Solemn Strikes, their whatever you want. It's pretty good. And he also has 3,800 defense, and he also attacks with his defense. So that's really good. And then I run 3 Super Heavy Samurai Beast Kaiba. What he does is he also attacks the defense, but he only has 2,500 defense, but he compensates that with the fact that for every special summon monster that your opponent controls, he gains 900 defense. That is so much. That stacks up like super quick. Like, say they just pendulum summon 5 monsters, 5 times, that's 4,500 defense. That is 7,000 defense on Beast Kaiba right there. If you clear out their field, that is an almost OTK. And that's probably, you're going to have other cards on the field too. So probably an OTK could come out of Beast Kaiba doing that. And for our next card is Super Heavy Samurai Ogre. He is amazing. Only bad thing about this card is he's about $5 or $6, but he is totally worth it. Whenever you use Synchro Summon, you destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent owns. Really good. He only has 2,500 defense though, which is kind of It's kind of sucky for super heavy samurai monsters. There's level 4 monsters that I've gotten up to 9,000 defense, but I use the more synchro heavy version of the deck. There is another version of the deck that you could run is more equip card heavy, which you can get your monsters up to some ridiculous defense. But it's just, I like this version more. It's a little faster, it's a little funner. And then I have 3 proxies because I have none of these cards. It's 3 copies of the new synchro for them. I don't have any of them, and I can't remember his name. So, yeah. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned something. Hope you go out and try the Super Heavy Samurai deck. It's really cheap to make, really fun, sort of competitive. I mean, you can troll your friends with it. But yeah, like and subscribe for more. I can give other deck profiles. Degenerate League has a bunch of duelists in it. We have a bunch of decks. Any deck profiles you guys want, just put it in the comments. I'm sure someone in our group can make it. And if they don't want to, then I'll just like steal their deck and make it. So, thanks for watching. Peace.